Hembo, Kimo na Tata nZambi ya Mazulu, nZambi mawesa, nZambi yakubenisha, nZambi monene, Luvuba mu, Yala! Yenge Keno family, Mbote Sabona de Malang, Assalamu Maliki Kongo, for those of you who have been accepted by Tata nZambi as Maliki Kongo again. Also, Yenge Keno to the Pemba Kalunga, the Makanda, the Umpangi, the brothers Umpangi. We always see Umpangi and Fumu Yisu. I wanted to address a major topic today. And I feel that in this awakening, some people may have done it. I know some people in Portuguese talk about it. My Portuguese isn't great. My Spanish is better. So boa noite to the Portuguese people down there. Buenas noches to the Spanish speaker. This video is going to hit hard on some things because once again we honor the day that the Maliki Kongo went after the King Leopold's army that they hired to cover up. But what happened after that? The dragon. As like I said, it's a tit for tat thing, but now it's going to be interesting, and I'll talk about it a little bit. I know my heart goes out to the brother who was impacted, but the problem is that there's a lot of deception going on because people don't know who run these things. You keep getting deceived. You think that the creator of heaven and earth has anything to do with wicked deeds. He doesn't do it. It's a lie. The whole system has been deceiving you. The 1%ers are all deceptive. The people running this elite system, they're totally wicked, totally corrupt. And when there's corruption, that's satanic. That's not the Most High. He turned you over to a reprobate mind. And that's where Christianity has been so deceived. I'm going to talk about today, the corruption concept. This is why you don't hear none of this stuff and how they skew it on CNN and other news networks, TV. Americans don't get this news because there's a reason for that. Okay, there's a reason why they don't talk about what they're reporting in South America, different places, Central America. Everything has a skew, a slant for a reason. Okay. I'm going to get into the song. Yang, once again, welcome. All of you who come to my channel, I appreciate you. I hope that the Most High will inspire you to continue to move forward as things are changing. I'm going to show you another big reason why the Bantu awakening to return to ourselves is such a big problem, huge problem. Because, sadly, and I saw that guy who got elected in Brazil, he's crying. Oh, return to democracy. Oh, man. I'm going to tell y'all, it's a big show. Always, especially down there. It's a big show, and I'm going to show you why. Because one of the things I even saw, Catholicism was the savior for Africa. Oh, man. People, you are deceived. Christianity was the savior for Africa. Oh, man. Islam was the savior for Africa. Judaism was the savior, man. I'm not saying Africans in general, because see, the problem is, here's the delusion. The gods that are affiliated with Judaism, Christianity, and Islam are the same gods that many of the African tribes pray to. You think they're not, they're the same. All they did was change sides. This is the problem. That's what the nZambi said, the delusion is out there. Native Americans, same thing. They're the same Anunnaki. All they did was change sides. They're the same fallen angels. These different, they just change the names. These hybrids, they can shape, they can change it up always. All religions come from Nimrod and Tubal-Cain, or before that. The land of Canaan religions are all over the planet in different forms. You just don't know. Native Americans, all that happened was your gods went to the side of them because they wanted to give Nimrod his kingdom back. That was the problem. Nimrod controls the earth. Of course, and Set's above him because Esau killed him, but you know. But that's a whole nother story. But let me get into the song and then we'll get started. People think it's because, see, the problem is you think it's about flesh and blood. All you see is the white man. All you see is the black man. All you see is the Native American. No, it's a lie. I'm going to show you about that. Ain't got nothing to do with flesh. All about spirit. Bato, children or people of Shem. That's what they just said. That's why, I'm gonna get into that. I do not own the rights to the song. I didn't have the copyright. The song is not mine. I'm not for redistribution of any kind. This song is silly for educational and inspirational purposes only. Hallelujah. One second. sorry. I know I don't always dress up the way I should sometimes, but I'm trying to reach everybody. You know, sometimes when you put that suit and tie on too much, the young folks don't hear you. For real. Kimball, hallelujah, Kimball. Natomboli, Nkulukulu, Makanda, away in Usiemi. Wakanda forever. Kanda is what we call in the Bible. Kanda means family. That's why it's Makanda, is many families. Of the Muntu, the head, the Bana Betu of nZambi. All praises Kembole nZambi, Pumutalendo, Maya Mona, Kimbo, hallelujah, Bayetu Nkosi, Tata nZambi and Pumutalendo, Akongo Yave, Modimo, Sonini no Nini, Sonin Somamala, nZambi Mawesha, nZambi Yakubenisha. Tata nZambi Matoni Masakla for this time to come before our people once again. Protect and watch over this message, Tata nZambi, as this will strike a nerve among a lot of people. It will reveal many things and show the corruption that continues to come against the Nsantu, and how the harlot became drunk with the wine of the saints, the real saints. All the deception that's come upon us, Tata nZambi. Matone Masaki's life forever as you give. Help us in this time, Tata nZambi. Ingeta, yenge keno to kuswa Kongo Yesu Kristu, kuswa Kongo, Yeswe, Yahweh Kongo bene Yahweh Kongo, to the Mwanda de la Boyan Peve, Moyo. Hallelujah. Honor you. Yenge keno to the righteous, the elders, the judges, to those who are in the Pemba Kalunga, about the Kolale for my zonos, if I have offended anyone there, all the way down to my ancestry. Help me to be righteous in this time, not wicked. I ask and call upon you all to be with me this time. Watch over this message. Do not let anybody come against it. Tata nZambi Pungo, watch and guide us. Assalamu alaikum Kongo. Please protect and watch over. Ingeta, hallelujah. Bayet. Kongo. Nkuswa. Wakanda forever, Kongo. This is not, you know, the secret society, they like to do this X for who do you know? This is for Kongo. They stole it. All right. He was crucified on an X. We want to debate all of that. Oh, he's on a tree hung, but no, they put it right there in front of you. There's some things that happened with that recently. I'm not going to address that because there's a lot of things happening that people are going to find out. I did a video a long time ago that said, be careful who you follow, because they could very well be leading you to something you can't get out of. And I'm learning that as I keep going forward, why I've been warned several times by the Pemba Kalunga to question every spirit to see if they come from Tata nZambi and Pungo. Just because people keep saying the name Kongo, Tata nZambi, they speak Lingala Kikongo, and the other language they're speaking over there, that doesn't mean they're in the spirit of the Most High or the Mwanda Velala, or that they're doing things with a righteous heart. There are many wolves in sheep's clothing, many wolves. I mean, I'm not speaking specifically to any one person because it's not addressed to any one person at all. I'm just saying a lot of people, as I have now been privileged to witness because of who I am in this awakening and because of what I was called to do. I am Ephesians 5 and 11. Have nothing to do with the fruitless deeds, but rather expose it. I do my best to fight against it. I know we're tainted over here still. The Most High will soon purge us of a lot of Babylon's sorcery, and I'm looking forward to that. And because, you know, we can't come out of here unclean. There got to be righteous, clean exodus, okay? Just like before. And whether people want to believe rapture, whatever, okay, the Most High is not taking anybody unclean anywhere into any kingdom of his. That's how Christianity, they think, I've been washed clean by the blood of Jesus Christ. Yeah, Tammuz can't get you nowhere. If you want to keep believing it's the real Messiah of the Bible, that's your choice. But I'm telling you, you've been blinded by things getting taught backwards. I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to show you just how blinded you are. Everybody is throwing out the word anti-Semites, which means that you're not from the Semitic or Shem line. Okay. This is the lineage of Samuel. You pronounce it Shem for the Yiddish. We said, like they sang a song in Samuel. That's why Shamu is a mockery. Because, see, they call him that because you're standing, America, parts of Europe, and Africa were his land. It was one continent. They lying. And there was no ice on South America. That was part of the Hamite land. Okay. Yapeta was mostly part of Central to Eastern Europe. Okay. Not this little piece of thing they keep showing you with the lands divided because they're hiding the fact it was one continent. They even put it in the movie Transformers. They know. They call it Unicron pull it apart. The nZambi did that. The Most High. Now, let me show you something. These are all the children. Now, according to what they're going to tell you, all these children here apparently have no descendants that died out and were destroyed. Now, I'm not sure if that happened because of the tower. I'm not buying it, but, you know, especially since they talk about this one here. If you look at Eber, which is where they get the word Hebrew from, actually, Yoktan has children over here. You go all the way down to Terah. Terah had 3 sons. There are children that come from them. Nahor had a son named Ishmael. Nahor is the one that he got killed in the fire when Abana was, when they were trying to, Nahor, yeah. When he lied to Nimrod, when Terah had lied to Libnad, they threw Nahor in the fire, and he died, but Abana did not, because they were trying to kill him. Look at the people you see coming off of these lines. Ishbak, Zimran, Medan, Midian, Azarites, the Letorites, the Leamites, the Ishmaelites, the Edomites, the Israelites, the Moabites, Ammonites. All of these people come from Shem. These are all Semitic people. Now, the righteous lineage out of all of this is, of course, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, which that wasn't their name, but okay. It wasn't Abram, Yitzhak, or Jacob. They want to say that, that's their business, but it was Aban and Saka and Yakubi, because in Saka means to laugh. That's because she get, ha ha ha, I'm going to have a baby. Why are you in Saka? In Sika? Why, the angel say, why are you in Sika? He laughed. So that was his name. Now, one of the things you're going to understand is the biggest lie that they have ever taught in America. The majority of the Bantu people did not end up in North America. This is a lie. And they did this for a reason. The majority of the Bantu people actually ended up in Central and South America and scattered into Asia, some places there, okay? And some of us were already here before it even started. That's the problem. Now, because of the Arab slave trade, I'm going to talk about that here in a minute. Bantu people first became scattered in recent times because we got scattered by the Romans, but they covered it up because the Romans did travel the earth, contrary to what Constantine lied about. So did the Greeks, and so did the Egyptians, the Gipiti. They actually built a lot of stuff around the earth. They hide this fact because they don't want people, they wanted people to, they really wanted to push the agenda that Europeans were the only ones that ever built anything. Well, okay, the Most High about to expose all of that. They wanted Europeans to believe that all civilizations came from them. So they hid everything else. The Arabs took us, okay? We went to Europe, Persia, India, even to the Americas, but they hide that. Okay. So, and when they say Asia, and they say Persia, but see, the Muslims also went to Asia. That's why you see Muslims in the Philippines, but they cover that up too. So now, so they took us from, they said, from the interior of present-day Kenya, Mozambique, and Tanzania, Zanzibar, Pemba Island Coast, Swahili Coast, East Africa. So now, I want to show you, we have the Bantu heritage of the Americas, South African Americans. South African Americans. Now, they're going to say this is people who have ancestry from South Africa. But what I was trying to get to, it says, here's proof that Africans settled in South Africa long before Columbus. And of course, they found artifacts to this point. Okay. So now you can look at these websites. You can see what I'm talking about. This is why I'm going to tell you right here, Matthew 15:14. Let them alone. They be blind leaders of the blind. If the blind lead the blind, both shall fall into a ditch. Kuswa Kongo Yisu, not Jesus Christos, because that's Tamil, but I'll say Jesus for the people that don't know. We didn't call him that, and that was not his name, but that was the argument between the Greeks and the Bantu disciples about, hey, you ain't supposed to call him no Jesus, it's Yisu, and they didn't. And then they whipped that name out of us. So that was the problem about that. When you looked at, it says enslaved Africans in Latin America. That's why I'm trying to tell you the Bantus that went, and that's why I said I know my wife is connected to some of this. They're really lying about immigration from the South. Okay, you hear about our politicians talking about, oh, we're having these immigration problems in the southern border. What you don't know about South America, okay, and these big companies, they actually, this is their bread and butter. There's a reason why they do what they do with these governments. Because in order, as I talked about, it's about energy, it's about the fallen angels needing power. They need the Muntu blood, they need the Bantu blood. That's their line about that. They need the Bana Betu of the Bena Kongo to power them. Okay. They don't want anybody to know what's going on in South America. That's why the news don't even talk about the genocides that are happening every day. People getting mowed down with machine guns and all kind of warfare, unstable environments. The inflation, there's a reason why the inflationary, they're not talking about why banks are going belly up down there. That's where we are being impacted the most. Because there's more Black people, Bantu people in South America than there are up in the US. Okay. You have Afro-Mexicans. This is one of the reasons why you keep talking about, oh, 12 tribes chart, this and stuff. Not everybody is the same. You must have Muntu blood, Bana Betu blood, Bakongo blood to be of the Most High. But they hide this. Okay? Now read this. The African presence in Latin America had an effect on culture across Latin America, big time. I told you they do the samba, that's prayer. They do the what's the one? The cumbia. Cumbia means come by here, raise us up, Tata nZambi. The cumbia, that's ours. Okay, that's why they do the washing machine, because when they do it, because we knew how to do, we wind our hips, you know. Okay, people don't even. That's why they do the what do you call it? The what's the name of that dance in Brazil that they do? Y'all can put it in the chat if you know. The samba, it is a samba. Samba is a samba, same thing. And it means prayer. It says Black Africans arrived in the Americans during the early stages of exploration and settlement. Okay, that's a lie. It's not completely false, but it's not completely true. Like I just showed you, the Moors, we were here with the Moors, and then we were also here before that. But there were also Hamites. The Native Americans of South America were Hamites. That's why you see those big, they talk about the Black Native Americans and all that. They got whited out by the Europeans for a reason. They were trying to convince the world of the dominance of Europe and European colonization under the guise of the fact that they're running around the world restoring the way it was before the flood. But the Most High, of course, pulled apart the continents. That's what they've been, that was the whole plan, was to put Nimrod back on top as Tubal Cain, that deception for what the Most High did. Okay. The Catholic Church here's the thing that got me. While most slaves were baptized upon the arrival to the New World, the Catholic Church did come to the defense of slaves. People, that right there, and you can even talk to any Native American that lived in this time, is the biggest lie. We, Bantu, Muntu people, were taken into slavery by Islam, as I showed you, purchased by the Christians. Okay, and of course I can prove it. There was a slave corporation in the island of Curacao run by the Jewish people. And there's a guy who just now came out. He was an actor. He said he was disturbed that his ancestors owned slaves, and he's Jewish. Okay, he just recently said, "Oh, I'm disturbed by that." Okay, you keep acting for somebody else. Okay. Now, The issue is that the Catholic Church could never have conquered the world without the Kingdom of Congo. Period. Why? They did not have enough power. No way. The other civilizations were too strong spiritually. This is where you're lying to you. Oh, we have Jesus Christ. They have God. They have Mary. They have... No. They were fighting each other in Europe to the point that even they were divided. Britain was fighting, France was fighting, Spain was fighting, Portugal. All of these people were in a brawl. And they were dealing with sickness because the Most High has said, I always bring curses upon those who change things upon what I teach. That's why you had sickness spreading all throughout Europe. And then they're going to tell you, oh, we're going to guarantee you're going to get them to heaven. No way. Not when you're sitting there, you can't even heal people. If the Catholic Church was a legitimate church, they would have healed people during the plague, not people dying. Okay? Kuswa Kongo was a healer. Sorry to get too loud. Isaiah was a healer. He did many great things. A lot of other people do the same thing. There's healers among us all the time. Okay? Why are you dying from the plague if the Catholic Church can heal you? They didn't have any power. They lied. Okay? They went broke. Who had the money? Okay? That's why they went the whole Robin Hood thing and the stealing from the poor. And then they had the Catholic Church going to rob people and bring it to the cardinal, and he's going to take it back to Rome. People don't understand. Christianity was a sham. It was all about prestige. Christianity existed before the Messiah because the worship of Sol Invictus, who was known as Helios Christos to the Greeks, was called Christianos. So they hung the Messiah. They hung Kuswa Kongo. Pontius Pilate was a Christian. Say it again. Pontius Pilate was a Christianos. His deity was Jesus Christos, the pig god. These people have been lying for generations. They were already what do they call it? The Pope, the emperors were already nomine patru, father, Christian father, before the Holy Pope names, before the Messiah was even born. I forget the title. My brother talked about it. Vicar, it wasn't just vicar, it was hold on one sec. I think I could look it up. I'm trying to remember. This would be what they would have called him. Official title. I forget. Anyway, this title that they carried, Dominus, it was Dominus Christus. Because the sitting Caesar, as we know, came from Kuswa, which was anointed. But when they accepted this God here, and see, because if I'm gonna see if I can find the equivalent of him. What is it? Okay. So yeah, so they just changed it to a U or This was his name, Epithus Hyperion, Pathon, the Shining. Okay, this person existed before. This is Nimrod's name to these people, and they call him Sol Invictus, all the different things. Okay, they encountered the Sanhedrin, which we know where they really were at. There was no up there. That was a Roman. I keep tell you that up there in Northeast Africa was only a Roman port started by the northern kingdoms when they got divided away from Benyamin and Yaoundé, because Benyamin built the Salama of Jerusalem, and Yaoundé kept the original, all because of what happened with Jezebel and what happened with because of Solomon. Okay, remember the Moabites? Those were people from Sam. He built the temple in Moab. That's not where you think it is. That's down in Embu. Okay, because the children of Canaan, and Semi's children followed us into Canaan because they were by us. Okay, Canaan was all of Africa except for the western portion belonged to the Hamites. So Canaan had to be down there. Telling you people. All right. So now, he was called a Titan, god of the sun. This was the title affiliated with Roman emperors already. Before the Holy Roman Empire came about with popes. It was popes, is called Pope Maximus. That's what he was telling me about. Pope Maximus Dominus. Pope Maximus Dominus was the title of all Roman empires, Roman patriarchs. Okay? The Flavian empires have modified lies because of Nero. They modified the Messiah based upon, like I told you, the encounter with Helios Christos in the form of Simon the Sorcerer. He depicted another Jesus that Paul didn't preach. Okay? That's why he said, if anybody come talking about Kuswa Kongo the way we didn't preach it, don't believe them. But they didn't listen. Okay? Let me help you understand this. Because people keep saying, oh, Christianity stole the version of Jesus Christ from the Egyptians. Simon the sorcerer was Heru in spirit. Horus. He was Horus. That's why he told them his version of the Messiah. I'm like this, I'm like that. Wait a minute. Paul, they were like, who? That's Tammuz. They even told him that. People don't know that. They say, hey, that's not the right one. We've been for Tammuz again. No, you don't know him. You're talking about who? Because they gotta understand, during that time, and they're not going to tell you this, the people of the book, the Bayuda, were still weeping for Tammuz. before Kuso Kongo showed up. Like Ezekiel was saying, what is wrong with you? Because why? When the converts came in from Greece, when the Greco-Roman Empire invaded the Bayuda, because the name Jew, I told you where it comes from. It's a mockery, really. It was a mockery of the female sheep. You, why E-W-E? They just changed it E-W-E because Kuso Kongo is the ram. Okay? When you see what happened with the Greek, hell, the Greco-Roman people outlined Embu, Africa. We're there studying in it. The whole thing. So don't believe the lie. That's why they destroyed Alexander's library. It came, the earthquake did it. Yeah, the fallen angel earthquake. They didn't want people to know. Okay? What happened was, and I'll get to where it comes to South America. The Roman Empire knew what they were trying to do. This is a lie. They were trying to finish the good work of Sol Invictus. That's why they were trying to conquer the whole world. They were in the process of rebuilding Cain's cities and restoring Nimrod's kingdom that the Most High took down, because you got to understand, this is the biggest lie. Nimrod didn't just build in Babylon. No. He built everywhere. He was the one that they said, you will finish, you will do what the Most High destroyed. Go build the cities of Baal, of Tubal Cain again. That's what his mother wanted him to do. And go kill Tata nZambi. Okay? This started with Canaan because of what happened there. It was Kama's fault that his grandson got cursed. They always want to blame Tata nZambi. It was not his fault. You the one that want to go laugh at Noka. He's naked. That was his fault. Okay? This started the whole, and see, then when that happened, the Anunnaki show up. Oh, this is the chance to get revenge on Tata nZambi, the recompense. Excuse me. Okay? So now, this has been the goal of, and see, the Most High kept tearing down civilizations all over the world that were trying to do their part to destroy his. This is what they're not telling you. Because he set up the Bakongo people as the chosen people through Abana Sakan Yakubi, the Bantu people. He said, you will be the kings of the earth. These other nations didn't want that because they were being run by these false gods. They said, we must go and destroy these people or else they will destroy us. That is why all the wickedness went out to keep us from becoming united, always a Kintwadi. We always kept thinking each other as different tribes or kingdoms rather than the whole one. And that's why Tata nZambi was like, you are all one people, Makanda. Why are you letting these other nations divide us? That's why he said, don't learn the ways of the strangers, the Mazungus. Don't learn this stuff. You don't need a king. I am the king, it's Samuel. No. We got to have Intina Sola, the Muntu, okay? and all these other kings of our tribes that we put up. It was other kings. Okay. The Most High was like, okay, but then that's when he put the curse. You will always have problems with these people, and it never stopped. Anytime you put anybody above him, you will always have issues, and that's why the world is deceived, because that's what happened. Okay? They changed our stories. They changed everything to fit the narrative. Ishmael was involved with that, Ismaili, because he hated us too. It ain't just, everybody hated the Most. Everybody hates the Bakong. Every spirit on this earth that is not with Tata nZambi and Pumutlendo hates Kongo. The world just doesn't know that. So the Bena Kongo have always been the enemy that they want to destroy. Okay? That's why you cannot, they don't want us to have the power. So what Rome did 500 plus years ago is they started to tell a big lie, because they needed the power in order to finish the work that the fallen angels were calling them to do. We want to completely control this earth, and we want to destroy Tata nZambi. Okay? Sorry for that. So now when they did this, okay, they knew, and I'm going to show you, they always got to go where you find resources. Embo, of course, has a lot of them. Okay? The world is filled, wherever we were, of course, we have resources that would show up. So now, South America, as you can see, is filled with resources. This is the driving force of what they do to desire to control the wealth system. The 1% must always control the 99, no matter what. The families must always be on top. That's been the way it's been since the flood. The people on top must always control what the people on the bottom think with these false gods. And they just keep switching it up. Why it had to be switched up so drastically when they took the Bakongo in there is they would have known, okay, that if they would have left it the way it was, we would have figured it out when they were trying to mislead us. They did not care what other people think. I keep trying to tell you that. That's why they had to deprogram so many other civilizations about what they know. They intimidated them to keep their mouths shut, because they had to make it look like the European colonization were the kings of the earth. In the process, they were being used, okay? Because like I said, they wanted to be in the image of the fallen angels now, because I told you they're leper. They wanted to make it look like this is how it was, because the Most High did prophesy, you shall become the tail and them the head. That's what really happened. Okay? He made them the head, us the tail. So the colonization stuff for all the other African tribes was just collateral damage. They don't know that. They were really coming after the Muntu, the Kongo Bana Betu. Okay? All the other Native American tribes and every other tribe, they were collateral damage to the plan. Destroy the Bakongo. Destroy Tata nZambi. Destroy our enemy's God. Okay? So how did they do this when it comes to South America? All of these, because see, these nations, they keep fighting each other. They have never stopped. I told you, the Neolithic wars never stopped. That's the wars between all of the children of Noka. Those wars don't ever stop. They've been fighting them since the beginning. They just keep changing the names. The Most High threw the continents apart. That's when they had kind of a reprieve because they didn't see each other anymore. But then they came back and started fighting again later. Okay, they just forgot who it is. A bit different now because you've been gone a while now. I don't recognize, and things got changed, and the fallen angels picked that grouping to receive the. It wasn't the Most High. They said, "Oh, God blessed us." No, the fallen angels picked them and said, "You will now lead the charge to restore Cain's cities and put us back on top." Okay, but you can't tell anybody that. That's why you had the people doing all the secrecy. So what happened here? You look at the slave trade. Many of us went right here. More went here than here. We're telling you. Look at all these people from here that went this way and up in here. Okay? Why? Because this, I told you, this used to be part of this one continent. So the resources that were part of this land are also found over here. And they knew that since the time Nimrod was ruling. These two together had the resources when it would belong to Abana. Okay? Now, so when they brought us here, they wanted to make sure that they stripped both that land and this, the Africa, Embo, and this land of the resources that were there, and then use it for the purpose of building the super government, the super world elites that would then control all of the other governments in the world with the concept of countries, when it's really kingdoms, with the concept of disguising it as governments when they're really corporations. And they know that. Okay? So down here, the slavery, because of how they designed the United States, because of how they were trying to deceive the Europeans that were there, they did not tell them what was going on with the countries in the world, there's people down here. You had several people fighting for independence and different things from the colonial states, but who was really being abused during this time was the Muntu, the Bakongo. We were always the dogs. They didn't receive the same slavery, so-called strong delusion like they did in North America and like in the Caribbean, the way that it was portrayed here. The opportunities were not the same because the governments were dictators for the most part. It was done like that on purpose because they wanted to create the concept of those who have and those who don't. But they still gave the impression that the people have a say. But of course, we know there's a lot of interference down there. Okay? Why? Because the same problem, if we are united and there's more of us down there, it creates a problem with the power structure. They needed the Muntu, the Bakongo people, to keep sinning against Tata nZambi in a whole lot of different ways. And they needed to absorb them because they're running the world. They have to keep that delusion in place. That's why when we look at what's happening right now, Even J. Edgar Hoover said, Black people cannot know who they are. But he was referring specifically to the Muntu, to the Bakongo people. Because, like I said, the so-called, the Moors, they already know the difference. Okay? So did the other nations, the Sudanese and everybody else. They know who the Bantu people are. That's why you're not supposed to even keep, you could, over here, you can't even use that name. Asia, we still kind of had it, but they took it away from the Americas for a reason. And they tried to break it of the people in Africa as well. But of course, because of what happened with Kimbangu and Simantoko and all those things, it started to come back. And that's the real reason why Shaitani started all these wars. All the wars that happened in Europe and around the world, the fallen angels are behind them because they needed the world to stay in turmoil, to bring the order. This is what they talk about, under oaths, all these oaths, okay? To eventually succeed in eternal rule over the Most High's creation, with him destroyed and his people destroyed. And they become the gods forever. That's the plan. That's what they have always been trying to do since they got kicked out. We need to become the gods forever. He needs to go away. But we can only do that through what? Deceptive means. Okay? Now, what many people don't know, just go look at the wars. Like this whole war on drugs thing, oh man, don't even get me started. This is how ignorant Americans can be. If the United States wants something to end, okay, it doesn't take this long. If they're really doing it for real. People got to understand that. It was all show for the do-gooders, really, because they knew what the drugs were for. The drugs were to destroy Bantu people, the Bakongo people. That's why they flooded the ghetto and everything with all kind of drugs. We didn't have no, like I said, how you think the drugs got in here? We don't own any planes. We don't own any boats. Okay? How do you think it got in here? How do you think it got transported? See, it's all a show. For those, because they have to masquerade like they care. Oh yeah, people getting high on drugs and this and that, and send the police to arrest them. But it's a never-ending cycle for a reason. How do you, like I said, people, how do you think the drug dealers even got the money in the first place? To start growing these things. Okay? People don't realize the deception that is here in front of their eyes. So then when you go, now this is going to be the big one that was a big lie. The Inca Yapankwi. These people are the Mandinka. And look how they're drawing them now. No, these are black people. Muntu. Okay? 1472 to 1439. This is when Spain came across and the Portuguese, they started destroying the evidence of Bantu people. That's what they did. Okay? All the way up through the Americas, they destroyed evidence that we had been places before. Okay? You have this is the Native American Colombia. Bantu people were all in these places, especially during the slave times, and they were you know, many of these Native Americans were Hamites. Okay, they helped them run the slave production. You don't even know. Okay, you had the Argentine independence, all of this stuff. Why you think now Argentina just won the gold? Don't even get me started on that. The Pope come from here. The Spanish. Now here's the part that kills me. Spanish-Portuguese invasion of the Jesuit-sponsored Guarani nation. What is that? Boy, I tell you, they know what they're doing. Okay. All of these. Let's start from the 1900s. All of these wars from here on are secretly backed by the U.S., the UN at that time. Well, it wasn't the United Nations then, but League of Nations. Okay, to start setting up dummies, puppets, to make sure that the resources that were in these countries, they didn't just do it here, they did it in Europe and Asia too. Okay, set up, they even call this one the dirty war. They always wanted to do all of this type of stuff because they don't want. That's why do you think like Jim Jones took people to South America? Nobody was going to touch you there. There's a real reason why they killed that congressman. It has nothing to do with people think. Okay? There's a reason why they didn't want Kennedy to talk. Okay, even about not just about Cuba, but about the other nations too. South America, why Teddy Roosevelt was doing what he did when he talked about, oh no, we're going to be the guardians of South America. Yeah, because it's going to set up the exploitation routes. I'm telling you, when you look at the resources that are followed, and this is why the shipping, like I told you, it's all about maritime law. They wanted to control all of the shipping routes in the Western, they call it the Western Hemisphere, but we ain't gonna go there. They wanted to take over all of the stuff Spain was doing. Why? Revelation 11, they're building the 8th kingdom. But they don't tell the world that. We're on top of the world, baby, as they say. Number one, the Mosai calls it the hammer of the earth. In code, the United States is in the Bible by a different name. Okay? The only way this works, and this is where religions are so blind, the only way this works is to create intentional religious friction. Let me say it again. To create intentional religious friction and to create intentional conflicts. Keep people from knowing like I said, Kongo said, do not let the left hand know what the right hand is doing became a mockery. Don't let anybody know what we're really doing. That's why the Most High said, when it comes to the blind leading the blind, Christianity has killed more people in South America than you can imagine. They have covered up the graves. And many of those people were Bantus, Bakongo people, black people. They slaughtered more Bantu people in South America than they did during the Ku Klux Klan. You don't even know. Nobody gonna talk about it. They did the same thing in Africa, of course, big time. Oh man, mass graves. Asia, similar things. Because when you control what the government is telling people, you don't know the truth. That's what the nZambi's like. How these people think they're coming to me? They don't have a clue what their religions are doing. There's no way a Muslim or whatever, or Christian or whatever, can possibly think that they're coming up to the Most High with all of this blood that they don't even know about. You see? They have, like I said, they have slaughtered Kongo Bantu people, in addition to the Native Americans they're talking about, by the thousands. And now they're using the travel industry. The travel industry is the new exploitation. People don't even know. That's why the Most High went after it. All these people going on excursions, going on vacations, going partying, going like this and that. Okay? What is that doing? It causes you to go sin on purpose. Thinking I need a vacation, think I know, and they go partying they go to the different ports. Oh, this is a nice Brazilian woman. It's a Muntu. It's your descendants. But you don't know that. So then you go to Brazil, you go to Belize, you go to Panama, you go to all these different trips, okay? And you start having encounters with Muntu everywhere. And they don't even know, whenever you start doing some of these wild, crazy parties like they like to do, you are now sinning against the Most High. So that power charges the fallen ones like crazy. And that is how they continue to keep the world like this. Eyes wide shut, just like the movie said. Clueless. They put it in a movie with Van Damme, Steven Seagal too, when the one guy said, "You eyes," I ain't gonna say what he said, but your eyes are glued shut. They keep you so busy with life now that you don't even know if you're going or coming some days. But oh, let me go to the church house. I just put it on Twitter. I told people how the church system worked. It's in the gospel. It's in the martyrdom of Bartholomew. Let me break it down for you. How Christianity really works. I think our brother, one of our brothers, he did this. He helped us out. They create the system where you sin on purpose. Okay? You then go and pay your tithes and offering to the pastor, where he will then pray over you, which is actually like as if you're buying your way into heaven, by the way. You then give him your energy to where he's the one that controls what goes on in the church, when the Bible clearly says that's not the way it works. Other people must prophesy from the Holy Spirit to get instructions. See, people don't understand in Christianity, the Creator gives his children a specific job to do. Each one of them have a role to play. You don't just, like I told you, you don't go and be born and go to school and say, I'm going to be a doctor, I'm going to be a this. No. The Holy Spirit decides your job. This is why Bantu people, we get in trouble for not knowing who we are, because we come down with a specific thing and we don't do it, and they know and they stop us, and next thing you know, they get the power. Hiding things. The world doesn't understand that. But see, in this system, you work the way they want you to work for their benefits. It's set up like that. They already got it like that since you got here. But you don't understand it's a fallacy. You're chasing your tail when it comes to what they're really doing to you. Because nothing that's going to help in this particular system is going to get you anywhere near the creator. That's why when we, Muntu, charge the system, the fallen ones can then use that to tell these people anything because they carry the energy. And then they do whatever they can to keep people from knowing this. That's what it has been about. Because you cannot know, the devil controls it all. The Wizard of Oz controls everything. Doesn't matter what religion you are. It's like I said, it's not about flesh and blood. So you got people talking about, oh, white people, black people, Jewish people, these people. Go read the scripture. You don't battle. That's why I said Old Testament only people, that's why they do that. You don't go to the scripture and say we battle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities. But see, the so-called Gentiles think that applies to them because they received the anointing. No. The only people that these beings recognize that are a threat to them are the Bakongo. That's it. Nobody else matters. But they're going to make you think that you have a part in this. And that's why it's such a massive attempt that anybody that can tell the truth is either killed, bought off, made to look crazy, you worship the devil, you have no idea what you're talking about. It's a conspiracy. You're Looney Tunes. When the Looney Tunes run the system, the clown is in charge, as they mocked you in Batman. The clown is really in charge. The dummy actually is in charge because that's what Nimrod means. Stupid, because he thinks he can beat the Most High. All of these people think they can beat the Tata nZambi. When you really see what the elites do, what you think that they're doing when they're talking on television, oh, we're going against Russia, we're going against this, we're going against that. Oh. When you see what they really do behind closed doors, they laugh. Because it has nothing to do with any of that. They are doing the mission that they were given by the fallen angels. And they want to lead you into the belief that you have a say in it. Yeah, right. You're just going through cycles. You live, you die. That's why I told people, I said, and we talked about this. Your birth certificate is your passport into the system. They have everything coded like this. You are nothing but a piece of paper to the 1%. Nothing. They just want you to keep doing what they want you to do, and that's it. And they do a lot of great acting when they come out on that camera and they come up on stage and they have all this stuff planned out. That's why when people get in, they're like, what's really going on here? Don't we really do anything? No. But they got to think we do, and you better not tell them we don't do anything because they really don't. Everything is designed for you to go the way they want you to think. Everything. And many of the things you think is just random is already pre-known. Tata nZambi is the one who provides the interference to keep his agenda going, and that's why they want to get rid of him, because he's always interfering in what they want to do. So the devil tries to interfere back. That's the chess game. They've been playing chess. What really happened 500 years ago? Shaitani stole the queen, the bride. But the zombie said, I got to go get my bride back. But he said it's for a time that the bride has to stay with, because he was angry. Hey, what's wrong with you? Now the Most High said, okay, it's time for me to go get my bride back that was stolen. I told you, and I gave it in my video, we got stolen by the queen deception for the king of them. So Baal's wife used her sorcery for her children to convince us, do the Pied Piper, hey, come over here, into the belief of Christianity that Rome had, because there was no protest back then. The protest started because of certain things, but they even controlled it after that. You don't even know. That's why you're in so many different denominations. So you can't see that you're actually divided on purpose into denominations, okay? So now, we living in a world of fantasy up top. And now to the zombies saying, hey, it's time for your world of fantasy to end. They mocked you with cartoons. They mocked you with movies. They mocked you with all kind of stuff. But they'll come out in the public and make it look like they care, and they don't. Oh, nice job going to giving out medals. Oh, yeah, and they'll tell you, if anybody tells you anything else, it's a lie. That's the whole point. Because if you don't believe it, that's why the Most High said, it's about belief. We chose to believe a lie, as Bana Betu, and that's why the world is deceived. So now they believe the lie with you. We were never supposed to believe this lie, and then the rest of the world would have been fine. We would have been able to do what we need to do. That's the issue here. There's nobody to blame. Nobody. That's why Lamilia 50 says, my shepherds, which means the Bakongo people, they're the ones that decided we don't want to be with Tata nZambi. We want to be with these people. Through that whatever deception. Of course, people want to keep telling different stories. I'm telling you, hey, you better talk to the Most High about that. Hosea chapter 2 is for real. We did that. We ran after these other beliefs because people got jealous, and there's still jealousy even now, and that's what they keep using against us. This has nothing to do with the world. We don't fight against flesh and blood. The principalities did this. We listened to the wrong principalities, and now we got split up. We're no longer Kintwari anymore, family, Makanda. No longer Wakanda forever. Now it becomes a mockery and a show. Mr. Bojangles, the Sambo, all these different things. The niggers, Negroes, all this stuff. There's nobody to blame but the Bakongo people. Because we, every time, have done this several times. So it's our fault that our scrolls, that our culture, that our history, that our knowledge is now messed up. And until we realize we are the ones that need to humble ourselves and not anybody else. And Christians can't humble themselves. They're not designed to. They never were designed to do that. They're narcissistic on purpose. That's why you can't tell them nothing. It was designed that way. Because the fallen angels don't want them to humble themselves, because then they're going to figure it out. Hey. They always want to think it's their nation. They wanted people to think, oh, only the Christians in America have to humble themselves. There's Christians all over the world. How can you just be, oh, if people call by name, humble themselves, oh, we want him to heal our nation. That's a narcissistic way of thinking. There's Christians in South America. What about them? Do you see the game? That's why they have no idea what's happening to them right now. But oh, they're waiting on, now that means Jesus must be coming because it's the tribulation. It has more utility. And yet they don't see what the whole world is doing behind their back, especially in America. Out of touch, out of reality, no clue, because you're focused too much on your own life. Don't even see that's been done on purpose. I'm gonna take time to go chill with my kids at the movie theater and all this stuff. We're gonna go hang out with the boys and the girls. We're gonna go do this, or we're gonna go to sporting events and all. They set that up on purpose. Okay? So that you don't see. But now you will see. Because the time has come where the Most High said, enough. I'm not playing this. That's why he went checkmate. It's time. He took that queen. Now this is why everything's starting to go, the house of cards is falling. You see people just, I told you, they're dropping like flies. Because see, the problem is they want the Most High to come down off his throne so they can go king to king. Satan can't kill the Most High. What are you talking about? Can't even touch him. The dragon can't touch the Most High. That's why he's lying to you. Hey, you do it. Hey, you do it. You go get the Most High. I'm going to stay over here. He's trying to get everybody else to go get the Most High but himself. Why? He knows. He got you so deceived, it's not even funny. He said, here, go sacrifice yourself to go get the Most High. I'll stay back here. He can't touch the Most High. They know when the Most High step off that throne, whew, you have been lied to. They want the people in the flesh to think that their spirit is strong enough when you are dead to beat a God, a spirit that's living. There's no way. Not even close. The living spiritual people cannot be killed by the dead ones. Can't happen. That's the problem. Because that power is far greater. And as we will see, way greater. And so now the Most High is like, hey, it's going to happen. We're getting ready to do this thing. And it's already starting to see. People are starting to see the effects. Bomb cyclone hitting California. Bomb cyclone hit Buffalo. Oh, I understand why he did that now. It became very clear. Okay, bomb cyclone, flooding here, destruction there. Okay, they think it's them, it's him. Watch. All right. Sambololo, Zola Quingi, where's the Yabli Kongo Kutwala? And I'm just saying, people, the world will now begin to understand in these next few years, no matter what happened to any one of us, the Most High is going to make it very clear. You have been sucker punched into the biggest lie. You are the days of Noah. You have been deceived once again, just like in those days. to believing something that is not true. And the salvation has always come through the Yaoundé. Nobody else. Jesus Christu is the door. Whoever don't believe that, hey, that's on you. You want to keep listening to these other people who call kings and queens and whatever? The Most High said he is the king. Always was. He did appoint people, but they've all failed him. Oh yeah. Look at the leaders in your countries right now. Look at the people calling themselves these different things. They have failed the Most High like you wouldn't believe. Because they are still looking at nations and other people to help. And they are also in the process of tricking many of us. You don't even understand. Anyway, Sambalolo, Zola Quingi, and Wezi African Twala. And like I said, people, get ready. We've been talking, and we've been talking. And man, if these people can't see, it's already starting. I mean, I already saw this guy put up a video. They have the Federal Reserve surrounded with a high wall already. They know what's coming. It's going to go down. Japan, they showed this massive snowstorm in Japan just hit. They couldn't even dig it out. It's so high. These are the curses. These are judgments. Don't matter if it's fake snow, real snow, or what. Ain't got nothing to do with no harp or nothing. This is Tata nZambi doing his thing. It's a war now. And he's going to win it. Watch. Ingita, Sambalola Zola Kringi, Mbote.